What should I do?
What should I do?
What should I do?
What should I do?
What are my rights? What are my rights?
What are my rights?
A legal course of action.
A legal course of action.
A legal course of action.
A legal Morse of action.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of Legal Morse of Action. My name is Patricio.
We got jokes.
And of course, as always, I'm joined by attorney Aaron. How you doing?
Good. Not as good as you.
No,
You laughing.
I'm laughing because when we have changes here in the office, the one thing I always hate is having to do a new group chat because I'm the only one in the office that doesn't have an Apple. And you guys phone shame me all the time. It's not right. About to file a civil complaint for all this Apple shaming. But as we're starting the show, I hear the voices in that in the intro, and I'm thinking to myself, do I re-record? Do I cut out? I leave it at it? It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. Okay.
We're gonna do it live.
Oh man, so it is Friday. We did not record yesterday when we normally do.
Oh my God, my court ran so late.
I always know that after 4:00, if you're still in court, I don't want to record with you because
you don't want to be around.
I don't want to be around you.
Everyone left early. They're like, we don't go do anything. Bye.
Yeah, you're okay. As an attorney, you are amazing. With your clients, you're amazing. When here after hours, when it's been a long day and a long trial, I just want to give you your space. Even if it's a good win, even if it's a great turnout, I'm just backing away because I know you're tired.
Well, and I'm still like, I have some trouble like transitioning. I'm on, if you will, right? Yeah. So I'm still like, objection. I'm still like trying to be hyper focused. I took time to like get in the zone, and I'm really still a little bit in that zone, even though I'm trying to like tone it down. But after hearing, I'm definitely like, and what? And I'm, snarky and I'm slick tongued and I'm on top of my game. So it just doesn't shut off like a light switch. Right?
No.
So he's right. I'm not fun to deal with because I'm, acid tongue at that moment.
Yeah, and I would not want to get you recorded. I would not want to record with you because I don't want that to leak into the. And
it will. I'm going to be rude. I'm going to be, I'm an aggressive, passionate attorney. So
there was one episode, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, where I did not listen to myself, and we went ahead and recorded, and you just bashed me the entire episode.
I had a lot of vinegar that day. I didn't mean it.
No, I know. It's all in good fun. I'm never gonna be like, Attorney Morse yelled at me. She was mean to me. Yeah. No, I'm gonna suck it up and I'm gonna move forward. But how has your week been? We're on Friday. Everyone's gone home. We're still late in the office.
I worked hard this week. Last night I felt it. I was a little late getting into the office because I didn't have any court or appearances. First thing in the morning, I had calls, so I took those calls. But I really was. Just I felt it. I was like, man, I earned my paycheck this week. I had a couple of mediations where even though I had a mediation, I was in a position where I still had to like step out for 10 minutes to handle a hearing. So I'm doing double duty this week. It was a lot. I worked hard this week.
With all the changes that we have going on in the office, I'm sure it's been a lot. And you kept your composure. Thank you so much, because we need our leader to be at 100%.
Hey, we handled anything. Balls were not dropped.
Exactly.
I have to give a lot of credit to my employees. They've been doing a really good job. I couldn't do it without the incredibly strong staff that I have really rallying behind me. So I do not accomplish this alone whatsoever.
it's been a lot. We're getting through it, and you're always there for us. So we do thank you for that. On behalf of the staff, we're here for you. We're not
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere. But with all that said, and any big cases this week, Aaron, that you could like talk about a little bit. We'll not go into full detail, but like give us a little bit of a tidbit.
Let me look at the calendar. Let's get up on this. See what we got. Whew, there's a lot of scheduling this week. I see it. A lot of double scheduling.
Yeah.
I had 2 mediations. Both resulted. 2 out of 3 mediations that I had this week resulted in an agreement.
Nice.
Which is really good.
And usually when parties agree come to an agreement at mediation, like there's no need to move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some tidying up and some paperwork and some other, things that we want to get quite right to make sure that we, etch it in stone, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we were able to do that. I had one hearing that was really big, and that one went well. I feel like the judge made a good decision on what is in the best interest of that child.
Mm.
It wasn't exactly what our client wanted, but it was definitely, and it wasn't exactly what the other client wanted. So this was a really good example of how going to court doesn't necessarily mean one person wins or the other person wins. There were some things ordered that weren't exactly requested, but were absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
That was very positive and overall beneficial for this particular minor child who has, some very specific needs.
So do you feel like this win was more for the kid than anybody?
I do. I feel like the judge really put this child in in the best position possible to, really focus on her, this child's best interests.
Yeah. No, and speaking of child's best interest, I think I'm just gonna just jump right into it because the title itself does say Kim and Kanye.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I don't want to say it was like a bombshell, but
I am not surprised.
yeah, I don't know. I can't believe Kanye lasted this long.
That is what I'm surprised about. I would absolutely agree with that. It took a long. Kanye really held on tight.
I've never sat down and no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I've sat down and watched full episodes of the Kardashians when I can't
make it through an episode
when I had cable because it would just be playing in the background, and something about it was just like I couldn't look away. Like for
a train wreck.
Yeah, it was a train wreck, and for the longest time, I was such a big fan of Scott.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, he caught my attention, and then just like the interactions with the whole family, their outings, their appearances, and all this other crazy stuff throughout the season.
He kind of makes fun of them.
Does he really?
You didn't feel like that? You didn't feel like his comments to them was him kind of laughing at their expense a little bit?
I just thought he was just being a jerk, and I'm like, but who else to be a jerk to the Kardashians?
I think he's probably has a personality a little bit. Like I can have a habit of doing that, like making fun of someone because I'm like, come on, that's silly.
Yeah. But,
right? Like if any of you made the comment one time, if any of you lose your asses, we'll have no money. Right? Like it was funny, so, and he's not wrong.
No,
right?
no, not at all.
We made money off of you guys and all this plastic surgery. Don't change it.
You see right there, I have more doubt about Kim because there was one episode where she had gone, and I can't believe I'm actually talking about this. She had gone to get an X-ray of her butt to show that there was no implants. There was nothing in there.
That doesn't mean she didn't get like those fat transfers.
Exactly. So like right there by Scott saying that they'd gone through surgeries and stuff. Yeah, Kim, of course, has gone through freaking surgery after surgery after surgery.
But I'm not mad at her for it.
No. I mean, hey, she's got a $1 billion empire. I mean,
if you had her kind of money, wouldn't you?
What, have a big ass? Of course I would.
But wouldn't you get plastic surgery?
The only thing that
There's something about you didn't like. Why wouldn't you?
I would fix my nose. Would be the very first thing that I would fix.
I can think of a bunch of things I'd probably do.
Oh, I got like a bunch on me? What?
Plenty on you. Just your nose? Ooh. No, on me. Like I can think of plenty of things I would do. It just whatever, live your life. It worked.
It worked. It worked. I mean, they have an empire. Earlier today, I was sitting.
I think they're laughing all the way to the bank. I think they know exactly what they're doing. I think they're not at all sorry. They're not like, what? They never come out and are like, I can't believe people say that we get plastic surgery. They never do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll dispute it, but for the most part, they just ignore it and they're like, cool, keep talking about me.
Well, I'm sure they're playing a character anytime that the cameras are on them. I'm going to bring back a quick celebrity divorce with Alex Jones. There was one point during the whole ordeal where the wife was saying that because of his train of thought and the way he acts, he's in a danger to the children. And his response was, no, this is a character. The Alex Jones persona is a character that he portrays out to the public. And I'm like, okay, that makes either one, great lie to get your kids, or two, holy shit. Oh, what did I drop it?
Lost the boost.
Lost the boost. By him saying that, it was just like, okay, I get it. And maybe the Kardashians, like you said, they're not as dumb as you think.
They can't be.
Yeah.
I do think that your public persona has to be something different.
Oh, 100%.
I do. I think that I actually think you sort of can't survive. You can't survive being in the public without doing that.
Yeah.
You gotta hold something back.
I was actually having this similar conversation with my roommate the other day, because he's a musician, and we were chilling in the back patio, and we were just kind of just like chill back, relax, and not really us being on. And he looked at me and said, like, I like when we're able to do this and like not have to be, our on-air personalities,
right,
in a sense. And our home is our escape. But
ironically, this circles back to what we were speaking out in the beginning.
Yes.
Who I am in a courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then that kind of spitfire aggression or, being on top of my game doesn't translate well into being a good, like, friend or mom or wife. It really doesn't. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because, you really do have to be both. But we know that. I'm not afraid to be honest about the fact that, hey, what you're seeing in a courtroom, I'm not doing that at home.
Do you pull out Attorney Morse during some arguments?
I try not to.
Okay.
I really try to have discussions with my husband where I'm like, hey, is this helpful? Does this work? Is this right for us? I really try to take a very logical approach, because I know that when I take those type of arguments, I know that I'm causing harm.
Speaking of arguments, I just want to get your opinion real quick. When's the worst time to start an argument with you? It's you specifically.
When I'm hungry.
When you're hungry. Okay.
I am venomous when I'm hungry. And I don't mean it. And a lot of times I just, with my husband, because I don't want to fight with him. I have no reason to fight with him. To be honest, he really is very respectful. And even when we have disagreements, he wants to discuss it like a grown up, right? He really is so emotionally mature. It's why I married him. He is very emotionally mature. So, but if I'm hungry, because I don't want to be as venomous as I really am, I try to be quiet. I kind of like simmer.
I've seen the before and after of you when you're hungry, and then when you're forgive me for saying it, when you're fed, when you eat.
Yeah, when I'm fed, it's like a gremlin or something. Yeah.
For me, the worst time to argue with me is at nighttime when I'm about to go to bed, because my body is already shutting down. I'm ready to get under the covers, shut down and all. And then for someone to pick an argument with me at that time, like you said, you're venomous at that time. I'm venomous when, like, I'm just trying to go to sleep. I want this argument to be over. I'm going to say some bad stuff.
I definitely don't put any credence into that old theory that you shouldn't go to bed mad.
Oh, yeah, no.
I feel like you should go to bed and hopefully refresh yourself.
Yes.
And in the morning, when you're rested and fed, maybe try to revisit this with logical minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to stay up all night and I don't know, do this.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel when someone starts something with you while you're at work? Do you have a different approach to it once you're like, because
privately, like
yeah, like let's say for example, whether it's a friend or a family member, like they send you a
people
text.
don't start with me, first of all.
Okay, you're one.
So let's be clear.
You're one of the luckiest people. Then
could you imagine, like, even if just you had a disagreement with me, could you imagine being like, I should go confront Erin? Would you think of it like that?
I think of it. And I've had certain moments in the time that I've known you where I've had to sit down and analyze and write down, no, I think I'm right on this one, and just go over it and actually bring in other people. Like, do you think I'm right or wrong on this? And 9 times out of 10, you're always right, and you're not even in the freaking room.
But even if could you really imagine being more of an acquaintance with me and being like, I'm going to go confront Erin and tell her? I generally don't have people do that. Now, if they want to discuss something with me and have a discussion,
yeah,
they usually try to find a time like, hey, can I talk to you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I appreciate that. But I haven't had a lot of instances now that I'm older and now that I'm an attorney, of course. When I was younger, things like that would happen. But if, for example, my husband would have confronted me about something at work, I probably would tell them to fuck off. I'm at work. I really think I would have done that. It's happened to me before where I've had relationships that were more confrontational than obviously the one I'm in now. Those toxic relationships, everyone's had one when they get rid of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And if you need help doing that, give me a call.
407-900-7451. Morse-firm.com.
But in general, I would be like, I'm at work. I cannot believe you would bring this up to me at work.
Yes, exactly.
No matter what my job was, Domino's, emergency room, coffee shop, whatever the jobs were that I was doing before I was a lawyer, I'd be like, you need to take this elsewhere, right? I can't deal with this right now.
I actually have a question that just came to me, and it's the best time, and I'm actually telling them to make sure they're watching.
It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. That's what it reminded me of.
Are you serious?
Blues Clues.
Okay, I was already past that age and never had any kids at that time because I would have been way too young. So never got into the whole Blues Clues.
I had younger cousins, so I also was past that age, but I had younger cousins, and he'd get a mail message, and that's what it seemed like.
So
what is that, Blue? The mail?
The only thing I knew was and that's it. Well, I'm gonna ask you this question.
Okay.
And hopefully she is watching. And hi, how are you? Do I need a travel minor consent form to go to the U.S. Virgin Islands?
I don't know. Do you need your passport to go to the Virgin? I mean, are we your personal Google?
Well, that's what I'm thinking because of the fact that it's a U.S. territory.
No, I don't think so. To go to the U.S. I'm gonna Google it right now.
You're Googling it online.
I am on air Google. This is it's like you don't have the internet too.
Exactly. So for those watching and listening right now, the question is: do I need a travel minor consent form to go to the U.S. Virgin Islands?
No.
Okay, so you do not.
If you are a U.S. citizen, you can go to the U.S. Virgin Islands.
U.S. Virgin Islands. I've never been.
Google has told me this.
Google has spoken. So, okay, the divorce. Kim and Kanye. We've seen it coming.
Saucy.
We've seen it coming. The divorce was filed earlier this week with Kim Kardashian putting in that unconsolable differences.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Unreconcilable. Sorry. Thank you.
Unconsolable is like when you can't stop crying. You don't want to put that. Like, you can't stop crying, so I need to divorce him. I'm just inconsolable.
So with these two big star they're both billionaires actually. I came to find that out today.
Really?
Yeah, Kim's estate is valued at 1.1 billion, and Kanye is at 1.3 billion.
Good for him.
Yeah, like that right there. I'm actually happy to see that.
Yeah. So they should just go their separate ways.
the client the
What are they going to exchange? $100,000? You're welcome. I got you.
No, so with that being said, both making great money, and we were trying to pull up the petition for the divorce, and it was just a 3-page document that kept repeating the
I want to talk about this. Why this is a good strategy.
the parties will refer to the prenuptial agreement.
Good for them.
Why is that a good thing, Aaron?
Prenuptial agreement is good, especially when you have the kind of money and assets like Kim and Kanye. You want to protect yourself. You want to protect yourself from having to pay alimony. You want to protect yourself from, what if at some point Kanye West spent down his billions or vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't like the Kardashians. And I feel, this isn't not... I don't mean this negatively, but I feel like the type of fame that Kim Kardashian has requires her to continually reinvent herself and her approach. I feel like there's a chance that the trendy nature of her fame could no longer be in favor with the American public.
Well, I think if you're ever in the spotlight itself as a celebrity, you need to continue like revamping yourself so you stay relevant to the public eye.
Right. But with Kanye West, he's a writer and a producer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he has other artists and he gets to almost in a way, he has a larger diversification of his portfolio.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Where I feel like, and again, this is based on nothing. I'm not a rich lifestyle person who's famous, so I could be completely wrong. But I feel like with Kim, a lot of her fame is based on people liking her and makeup and how they look and things that are otherwise relatively fleeting. Like she's not going to look like that forever.
Of course not.
I mean, maybe with enough plastic surgery, but it's not going to be the same. You know what I mean?
I mean, look at Dolly Parton. I mean, she's still...
But she had great music.
Yes.
Right? So, and she wrote music for a lot of artists.
Mm-hmm.
So she was able to kind of withstand because again, that portfolio of music was diversified with all of the other artists that she wrote for. Same thing with Kanye West. Other people do the performing. And if being a hip hop artist is no longer in favor, he can, rebrand or write for another genre style artist. He really gets to keep his pulse on the music scene and diversify that.
Well, I mean, he's a name. He is a name that has spanned over almost 3 decades in a sense because of his underground presence in the Chicago rap scene, and then being a ghostwriter and producer for Jay-Z for such a long time, and then finally being given the opportunity to brand out there and do his thing. I mean, College Dropout for me was like one of the best albums ever. Yeah,
that was really. You're exactly right. So I think that's, there's a difference in the way that those operate. There's a chance that the trendiness of the Kardashians could alter in time.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not saying that she won't rebrand herself. She will. But I just feel like the long-term ability to withstand, and with Kanye West, he also will continue to get royalties even if he stops working.
Oh yeah.
Kim needs to continually rebuild that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
do you feel, because how we had said earlier, like they know what they're doing. Do you think they purposefully do what they do to just keep their names in the spotlight? Because you remember the Pepsi commercial with Kylie Jenner?
Oh yeah.
There had to be someone in that crowd to say no, this isn't right.
Yeah, there wasn't a person of color that had some ability to be in charge that was like, this is a little tone deaf.
Hey, Kylie,
you solve nothing with a fucking Pepsi and a pair of jeans.
It irks me because there had to, I'm saying, I'm repeating myself again. There had to have been someone there, but they're like,
that,
no.
Or the problem is that we failed to put a person of color in charge to make decisions and check the pulse of this kind of insensitivity.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the other argument that we should highlight. Like perhaps the right people weren't in the room making the decision going, this is I'm uncomfortable with
Like,
this.
ooh.
Yeah. Too many white people of privilege, like, you know what would be awesome? Should just like give him a soda and like, I don't know, no more racism.
I always pictured like the dude who would run President Trump's Twitter. Just I can't picture President Trump just twittering on his phone and just putting it out there. Like there had to have been someone, or at least a consultant, or
no way. It was so ignorant. You thought that
there had
it wasn't well thought out enough.
But then there's a thing. Like, was there someone who said, "Oh, this is gonna stir up this and that"?
Maybe.
Or was it just plain out? Like, was it genuine?
I think it was probably both.
Okay. Yeah.
I think in years to come, we'll find out that sometimes people were like, "No, you hit send," because just like you and I won't respond to an email from an opposing counsel. I won't shoot from the hip on that because I know that I'll say something that maybe I'm feeling acid tongue after hearing, and I'm like, "Can you believe this?"
I remember when you came to my defense on that one opposing.
Oh yeah,
that one when
printed it out, I highlighted it. Was don't mess with my staff.
It's like Mama Bear came in.
And I was like, I intend not to respond to this a single additional time.
Yeah.
And it shut it down.
It did. We've had some crazy experiences in this office, whether it's either dealing with opposing counsel, with a client, or just amongst ourselves. I've always had joy. There's never been a dull moment in this office. I'm gonna say that. And I'll just leave it at that.
I hope I happily add to that. I know.
Oh no! Like I said, every day is an adventure here at the Law Office of Aaron Morse, 407-900-7451. How do you see this divorce going? Let's say you were.
I think they have a good prenup.
Okay.
And I think we're not going to hear a whole lot more about it.
Okay.
Well, here's the other thing that I don't know California law. So obviously I can't speak on that, but I know in Florida law, you cannot put in your prenup issues related to the minor children.
Yeah, because they weren't in existence at that point.
Even if they were.
Really?
You can't.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
You can't agree to a parenting plan like before your divorce.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay, that does make sense.
You can't agree to like what you'll do to custody if you ever get divorced.
So like how would I say it? Oh, what's the pre-word? Not
prenup.
No,
preemptive.
Preemptive ideas for a parenting plan if something were to happen.
Now, you could put anything on a document and sign it. You can make a hand mark and be like, binding contract, red and green, but that doesn't mean that it will be upheld in court. So child custody, child support, time sharing, parental responsibility, you can't deal with before the time of your divorce.
I was looking at photos of the Kardashian West family, and every photo, and Kyle and I were just like going through them, trying to get as much information about this upcoming divorce as possible. And every photo that we kept looking at, it was just like, no one looks happy. No one in those photos looked happy, but they looked amazingly dressed. They were dressed to the nines, but
I mean, the focus is on the wrong things sometimes.
Fair.
It's this outward appearance. It's this selling of our lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that does Kanye ever end up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
I don't know. I don't have any more.
Can one of the viewers let us know? Does Kanye West make appearances on Keeping Up with the Kardashians when it was still running?
It's not running anymore.
I think didn't they just announce like either their last season, or they're not filming again, or they're not renewed, or I don't
know. I stopped watching about 3 years ago when I cut the cable.
I really watched it.
They were like, I'm telling you,
they were big when I was getting my undergrad and in law school, and like the timing wasn't wasn't good for me. I wasn't into TV, and that didn't enrich my life at all. I didn't miss any Law and Order episodes.
Oh, dun dun.
SVU is what's up.
I couldn't get into SVU. I always liked
Olivia Benson. I want her to adopt me.
I always
I'd like
like
her to be like my aunt. I got a lot of aunts.
what's his name? Benjamin Bratt.
Oh my god, I love him.
I would just want to have a drink with him. And then what's his name? The state attorney or the prosecutor's office. The older gentleman. I can't remember his name for the life of me right now.
State attorney and the prosecutor are the same.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I kicked myself in the butt for that one.
Yeah.
Him and wasn't Jimmy Smits on the? No, Jimmy Smits was on the West Wing. I thought he was on the.
I don't know.
Irrelevant.
I was in school.
Anyways, but okay. So moving on from the Kim and Kanye divorce, like there have to have been other celebrity divorces that were just shamble and just like went on.
Johnny Depp. That was a mess. Can you believe her?
So
I'm still mad at her.
So she made up everything.
For shame. Why would you do that to somebody though? What's sad is it happens, right? That happened very publicly. And it took him a long time to weed out and be able to prove it. And he's got, the best attorneys, investigators at his disposal. So I wish I could use that as an example of like, I understand your case is frustrating you, but like millions and millions of dollars couldn't save Johnny Depp for a while. Mm-hmm. That went on for a while. We all believe this. And it was one of those things that I was like, I refuse to believe. Because I was like, not Johnny. Not Johnny. I also want to comment on like a personal, thing that we do, a social, and this is again in line with this public persona idea that we seem to have as a theme today.
Yeah.
So sorry. So they
what happened?
There's someone behind.
Oh, these scooter. I'm like, what's going on? Like, we got awkwardly quiet.
So, I feel like we have a bad habit of knowing too much about people's personal lives. We are, pardon my language, fucking nosy. Mind your fucking business.
Oh yeah.
Right? If he's an actor, worry about what he does in acting. I understand that a person who behaves that way, we shouldn't, whatever. But sometimes when we get like, you can learn about somebody and it's like a one-off incident. And I don't think anybody, I'm not here to say that it's okay to behave this way. I'm not. But because we are so obsessively vilifying everyone all the time, and because we have so much knowledge about people's private lives, mm-hmm. Amber Heard weaponized that about us.
Wow.
Right? So she weaponized the fact that we want to hear these things and that as soon as it's said, we absorb it. And we let him absolutely tank his career for months about it.
Yeah.
He has been tainted by it because it was said. Okay?
He almost lost the whole Pirates of the Caribbean franchise because of it.
He did. And they gave it back to him once he had to prove his innocence.
Mm-hmm.
And you do not have to prove your innocence in a court of law. But he sure had to do it in the public opinion.
Well, I mean, the court of public opinion is forgive me, fucking brutal.
It is. And I feel like we are too nosy with it. I'm not saying that what he did, if he did that, would have been wrong. It would have been wrong. Not acceptable. It's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that we are so absorbent of it. We let it completely.
Well, we live in a country where we idolize celebrities. We live in a country where like we are glued to our mobile devices to find out the next big tweet, the next big meme and things like that. And when we hear
mind your business, you worry about what you got to do. When
we hear like all these incredible, successful, amazing people, fuck up, it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a reality check. Oh crap, they're human too. Brad and Angelina, that
Angelina handled this divorce very poorly.
How so?
She took the kids away and tried to win custody and take them away from Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And then absolutely lost out on that. She got a really negative court order against her for behaving that way.
How many kids did she have? I forget how many kids she had, but she had a soccer
5,
team.
6.
She had I think every country that they went to, they were adopting a kid.
You know.
Yeah. You got to catch them all.
It was like, what's that ride at Disney?
It's a Small World.
Yeah. They had that at their house. Yeah.
Okay. What about, okay. Anna Faris and Chris Pratt. And we were talking about this before the show.
6. Yeah. She has 6 kids.
She has 6 kids.
She's
Oh,
like
my.
death now.
Oh God. Well, didn't she have she battled breast cancer during the divorce, didn't she?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that. I don't know.
I remember hearing something about that.
Sounds to me like something she did to try to gain our sympathy back after acting like a complete
bitch.
Gatekeeping mother. That's worse than a bitch.
But yeah, we were talking about Anna Faris and Chris Pratt before the show.
Yeah, and I love Chris Pratt.
I love Chris Pratt too, and
I don't know why they got divorced. What was the public opinion about that?
I don't know. I was always a fan. I was a fan of Anna Faris. I never knew that she was married to Chris Pratt until I saw them on a red carpet thing, and I'm like, oh crap, those two are married, and then boom, those two are divorced, and ouch.
They seem to get.
Oh.
Get your own fingers together. Come on.
I cut my finger earlier and I just snapped on it and it really
Do you need
hurt.
some hand sanitizer?
I'm okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're mean. Oh God, no.
I think that I don't know. I don't really know why they got divorced. They kind of kept it under wraps, but is it really our business?
It's not. It really isn't.
It isn't. I feel like Jeff Bezos handled this divorce well.
I was just about to get
you
to
want
that
half,
one.
you get half. You know what? You helped me earn this. You're right. You're right. Here you go.
There was a meme I saw earlier today about this divorce itself, and then a guy commented saying that the Amazon River and he gave like a paragraph about this leading up to the fish.
Too long.
I know.
Read.
Too long. No, it was worth the read
Yeah.
because it was informative, and at the very end, it was like the fish survive off of this, and I care more about the fish than I care about this effing divorce.
So I also think,
Oh, Miley Cyrus.
People. Oh yeah. I mean, whatever. That one didn't matter.
Yeah.
I do think that we should do a better job at not putting our nose into these people's private businesses. Like, I don't care. They're an actor. I want to talk about their acting career.
But say what you will, but the Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston divorce.
How satisfying do you think this was for Jennifer Aniston? Do you think she was like, where's my popcorn? Still my man? You can have him. Try to take his kids. Good luck.
And Jennifer looks amazing at
Brad,
her age.
How's it going? You having a rough day? Is it hard?
You having a rough day now?
Is it you want to talk about anything? I don't care. Bye. I bet she was really satisfied by that.
Oh, definitely.
So, and in some ways, I think if I were in Jennifer Aniston's shoes, I probably would have been. For a moment, I'd be like, "Get what you deserve," and then I think I would probably come around to being like, "This is me speaking as though I were myself right now as a divorce lawyer and thinking about kids." I'd be like, "Wow, this is a really crappy things to do to those children."
And it's actually a good point you bring up right there. Yes, you being a divorce attorney. Sometimes divorce isn't the right course of action.
Sometimes it's not. The person I spoke to today, I was like, I don't know that you're ready for a divorce. Call me back.
Yeah.
Call me back if counseling and these efforts don't work. Because only you can make the decision if you're ready for a divorce. And sometimes the time just, it isn't. And do not tell my husband this.
He doesn't have Facebook.
Cheating isn't the worst thing that could happen in a relationship.
I have my pen and paper ready to go. Please finish your thought.
I never told you this?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, and I listen to your words of wisdom, so like I want to have this one ready to go.
Everybody get out your pets.
Wait, is she still watching?
I'm saying that it is something that causes definite strife in your relationship, and you are throwing a grenade at your relationship, right?
Okay.
But it is a symptom and not a cause of divorce.
Ooh.
Many times, and God, I'm gonna get roasted.
Are you breaking girl code for saying this?
No, I'm breaking people code, right? So, if someone has an affair, again, like I said, it's a symptom, not a cause. So, usually it means that there's some breakdown in the marriage. I would say the cause of nearly all divorces is a breakdown in the two of your status as a team. You are a team, you are running a business, you are, I don't know, you're unified for a common goal.
Okay.
So once that breaks down, that's the cause of your divorce. Irreconcilable differences.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to put like a dum-dum flip to it right now.
Yeah.
And
I did it.
Yeah, you did. Well,
so the affair, right?
Okay, the affair.
Oftentimes people have affairs. And again, this is a lot more for the psychology side of it. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist, but I've done a lot of divorces. Is that one person isn't feeling loved. They're not getting the physical attention that they need. Sometimes people have affairs or cheat when their spouse isn't listening to them or they're not talking to them, or your sex life could still be good, but it's the emotional side of it that you're not feeling connected on. So without that connection, your marriage is going to break down, and you have to work on it. You have to be willing to work on it. So that willingness to work on it. And again, cheating probably means you should if it is unsolvable for you, it's unsolvable for you. But cheating in general is, I think couples can get past and rebuild the trust. And that doesn't mean he cheated, so I'm going to go cheat. That actually breaks down your trust as a couple further.
Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right.
Probably means you're getting into territory where your marriage is over.
Wow.
But if one party cheats and it's found out, it is solvable. You guys could work through it to rebuild that trust. It's going to take work. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to like it. You're going to have to make some changes, and you're going to have to introspectively go, what did I do to cause the breakdown in my relationship, even if you were the person who was cheated on? So if you're not strong enough and big enough to go, you had an affair, what did I do wrong? How did I lead to this? What was my role? It won't get fixed. So if you think that you're perfect, that probably is a cause in your breakdown of your relationship. Just saying.
Wow.
It can be fixed. And making sure that you continually connect with your significant other and check in with that connection. And also with the person who cheated, right? You have some resolving to do, right?
Yeah.
You need to know that when you're feeling like something's missing, you have to say, hey, I'm feeling this type of way, before you go to someone else's arms or to speak to someone else. Or when you're having a problem in your relationship, don't talk to your work wife about it. Right? Talk to a therapist or talk to your wife, not your secretary.
Amazing TED Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you would still have to address the problem itself.
Undeniably. You got work to do.
You have to identify them. If there some couples are blind to it and don't even realize that there is a problem. But of course,
sometimes the problem is too far gone, right?
Yeah, okay.
He travels, and he intentionally travels to sleep with other women, and he thinks it's not a problem, and he doesn't want to check in with me. And when I asked him, do you want to go to counseling? And he went, no. Because if what your line is I need to go to counseling, this is the line in the sand that I need to draw. This isn't you respecting me, and I don't like it, and I stand for this not happening to me. So you and I need to go to counseling. And if that person, if you're like, this is my ultimatum, I need you and I to go to counseling about this, and that person responds to you and goes, I don't think I need counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Your relationship is over, right? If they're
Yeah.
unwilling to do the things that you need, right? This is a two-way street. And in marriages, sometimes you give 100%, and sometimes you only have 20. And you cannot keep score.
No, and then there are some instances in a lot of couples, even before marriage, that one person is giving, like you said, you have to give 100%. But there are certain situations where a partner is giving 150% to cover or make up for the lack that their partner is giving into the relationship. Yes or no?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, you need to give everything that you can give.
Okay.
As much as you can, right? And you need to not keep score, right? Because you just started keeping score. You're giving 150%, and you went down the road. You did it. You went, meh.
I fell into your trap?
Yeah, you
God
did.
damn it.
You fell right into the trap. So what it is that sometimes your partner somehow can only give 20%. And you need to go, that's okay, because I love you enough to give 100, right? Because there's only 100%.
Yeah.
Right? So if you need to be 80% and they only got 20, it is what it is. But part of you giving 100% is saying, I resent you. And I understand this seems like I'm talking really deep issues, and I'm about to bring something that's so small, right? Men will feel this way, women won't. That's about what I'm about to say. I really need you to help me clean up the kitchen at least twice a week. It's a mess. We all come in this kitchen and just drop, there's honey from your tea in the morning. This is my coffee cup. There's this, whatever. I really feel exhausted about how often I have to clean up this kitchen. I understand that doesn't seem deep. But to women, the emotional and mental labor that comes with even going, can you help me clean up that kitchen, is a lot. They don't feel respected, they don't feel seen, and they don't feel heard.
I'm gonna stop right there and interject my 2 cents, because I have a completely different mentality on this because of the way I was actually raised.
Yeah.
And that's a fair and valid argument that you threw out right there in regards to the dishes and the sink itself. Great example. Growing up, I had learned how to cook from my grandmother. And in the process of learning how to cook, how to prepare, and how to execute, she was also showing me to wash and clean the dishes as I was cooking. So, like, if I was done with a pot, that pot is now, soaking in the sink so I can get all this stuff out. If I'm done with this plate, it's already in the sink, getting ready to go to get washed up. And she instilled it in me to just knock them out of the way. And I've never, ever had to deal with that because of the fact that, I pick up after myself. I'll wash my dish. I'll wash my cup, and right then and there, not just leave it in the sink, but just, put it away, dry it up, and just be done with it. And then through previous relationships, I see that argument right there, because they're not giving that effort. They're not giving their all, and they're expecting, either the other person to take care of it. Mm-hmm. And it's extremely frustrating.
You're completely right. There's also a large amount of unseen, unheard labor that goes into women being, and again, it's not always women. I'm just talking vaguely here, men or women, but into the management of a household. Like that whole, can you just tell me what you need? Makes me your fucking manager.
Ooh, no. Okay, guys, I'm tapping in for.
Hold on. I'm going to finish. Then I'll let you speak.
Okay.
So there's a lot of labor with going, our kid needs, a lunchbox. We need a new lunchbox. The laundry needs to get done, folded, washed, put away. Then this needs to happen, and then this needs to happen. Because typically the project manager doesn't engage in the projects. So if your significant other has to be both the project manager and the project executioner, like has to do it too, that's a lot of labor. It's a full-time job.
I have to defend the men just real quick on this one because not everyone.
I am not speaking about my husband. He does not.
No, I know. No, I know.
You know he does.
I know that for a fact, and I'm testifying for that.
So I'm not here to say.
I'm just saying in general, depending on someone's upbringing and lifestyle beforehand. I remember when I went to college and I was knocking out my laundry by myself. I was, cooking by myself. I was doing things by myself because I was taught at a young age. My roommates didn't know how to turn on the freaking washer and dryer. They were scared of the dishwasher. It was a mess because they had grown up and I'm not bashing on anyone who'd grown up in an intact home, but they were served too.
You're harming your kids by doing it all for them.
Exactly.
So I'm calling you out.
And the reason why
make your kids do chores.
The reason why I'm bringing that up is there are some men who did not have the luxury of someone teaching them what to do and how to do it and when to do it. So like if I'm with my girl, wife, whatever, I know what I have to do because I know what it takes to have a house clean, keep it running, this and that. However, maybe they just didn't have that. And for a guy to say, hey, tell me what to do.
That's a good enough excuse. That's just like the example I had at home was that my dad punched my mom in the face. So I'm going to punch you in the face. Fuck you. You know that's wrong.
That's wrong, but that's a completely different approach.
No, it's not. You know laundry needs to get done. You wear dirty clothes, sir? No, you don't. Do your laundry. You know dishes are dirty. You know you need to get dishes done.
Yes, it's common sense. It's common sense. And it boils my blood when someone doesn't just use their common sense to do what needs to be done in the house, in the office, wherever. Yeah. Common sense, just use it, people. But then at the same time, I have to defend the argument that I said at the beginning, where sometimes they weren't exposed to that. They don't know.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm saying it's a shitty excuse.
It's a shitty excuse, but
I'm saying it's not acceptable. And when I was dating, if there were men who that's how they lived or that's how they were, that were their expectations, I immediately was like, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I immediately I wouldn't even have the discussion with them. I'm like, I can't solve this. I'm not. Also, here's another thing. As a woman, I'm not here to raise you. That was your mom's job. So I'm not here to teach you what that looks like. You're going to come trained.
Oh, Aaron.
I'm not here to be your mom. I don't have time.
Okay.
I got a law firm to run.
You do?
No. And how are we going to raise another child if I got to raise you? I think the fuck not. Those men don't need wives. They need mothers, and I'm not your mom.
Okay, fair. But then I'm gonna defend the ones who don't have a voice in this match right now.
I want them to speak up. Let them come talk to me.
I guess it's once again, maybe they didn't have a mother. Maybe they were a product of.
That has nothing to do with it. You still need to clean your home.
Who taught you to clean your room?
My Army lieutenant mother.
Your Army lieutenant mother.
But I didn't have a dad, but I know what it looks like to be a good dad.
Okay.
And I advocate for dads all day long. You do.
You totally do.
You can still be a person.
Some people, just like we said earlier, lack the common sense to execute those actions.
I have someone who commented on my because I'm streaming this also on my page.
Yeah.
And he goes, he's a male, and he goes, I agree with you 100%. People need to come trained. I don't have time to be your dad. It's called adulting. So he's right. Women come like this as well.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're called daddy issues.
This is gender irrelevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is about people. So I think that this is not a gender role, and he's completely right. This is like basic humanity role, right? I don't need to do everything for you. because again, it builds resentment.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be that you just don't do dishes and cooking and cleaning, and your wife feels exhausted and unheard and unseen and unrespected for all that. So her work husband's looking real good because he respects her efforts at work. And he says, I appreciate what you do. Gosh, your workstation's looking really good. You really, you did a good job with whatever project that was. So she's getting that validation, appreciation, and assistance in the things that she needs to get done. There's your affair. There's how it happens. There's how it goes from you don't help me enough with the dishes to I'm having an affair with my coworker. That's how we get there.
Wow.
Wow.
We went off on a tangent right there.
It's true, but this is how divorce happens. So,
yeah.
There is, again, my husband, this is not him. I married him pretty soon after knowing him.
The views and opinions of this podcast do not reflect Sam.
They do, actually, because he is completely, this is not who he is. Like, he'd be here going, not me, but he's true.
No, it's true.
It's right, not him. I married him because he has emotional maturity, first of all. Like, yeah, it was a huge one. I was like, oh my God, you'll talk about this stuff? Oh my God. Yes, come over. Cook me dinner. He cooks, and he does not think that cleaning the house that we all live in is a gender role. I'm not saying we're perfect at it, but neither of us are. And both of us are like, okay with that.
But then at the same time, someone's upbringing is incorporated into that. I understand.
Maybe, but
if someone who came from
I came from a broken home.
You know what you have, and what you have for you earned because you busted your ass. You worked hard day in, day out. You did it. You did this all on your own, Aaron. I get that 100%. But once again, there are people in this world who don't have that mentality, don't have that reality. Fuck. Sorry. Oh, I did it again. Oops. Don't have that wake up call that triggers them to like, hey, I got to start using common sense and get my shit together.
Well, hopefully this is it.
I do.
And I'm not here to tell you that it was an easy road to get here, or that counseling hasn't been involved in my life with my trauma, because it really has.
Yeah.
And this is hopefully your tip off, if this is you or you're a person like this, that you go, I got to work through some of this. And I don't know that I know how, but let me start with counseling, or let me start with being honest with it with my significant other.
Some people don't know how to put that hand out to say, hey, I need help.
What could I do better? How could I be better for you?
Yeah.
Is there anything? And that's a conversation that my husband and I have both had at just random times.
That's a conversation that you and I have had in this office. Like, hey, what can I do to like make this better?
Yeah.
And we've had that conversation with staff beforehand.
Yeah.
And when
I hope that you are identifying that I've also said that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I do.
100%. Because you're successful, because you use common sense. You've worked hard to get to where you are. Fortunately, there are people in this world that I'm just repeating again, that didn't have that wake up call, didn't have that
this is it,
that reality check.
This is your wake up call.
There are some people who, whether they come from privileged lifestyles or, from the gutter, there are certain things that don't get done in their upbringing that it becomes a factor in their adulthood. Whether it's the kid who, grew up in a mansion and now he's on his own, he doesn't know how to, put his macaroni and cheese in the microwave, doesn't know how to, the settings on his dryer, things like that, because he never did it on his own. And at that point, he becomes, he can't do it.
But that person, see, this is why you should make sure not to raise your kids like this, right? Let's just start over with a new generation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's wipe them all out.
Wipe them out. We'll start over.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that you raise your sons, because that man might marry a woman who will do the mom things, and he maybe doesn't love her enough. And he doesn't have the emotional connection, and they either have an unhappy marriage, it's unfulfilling in some way, it's a marriage of convenience, and then all y'all are either unhappy or you run astray.
Yeah.
Right? So those people end up in my office.
407-900-7451.
So you don't want your sons marrying the first woman who knows how to do his laundry and dishes. You want your son to be like, no, I want you to be my companion and my teammate. So that's why Connor has to do chores, and I require that my instructions to him are typically after I taught him, right? But his chore now, instead of it just being like the dishes, right, is I want you to handle the kitchen, right? That's tidying up the whole thing. You need to wash, dry, fold, put away a load of laundry, not of just your things, all of it, because I've done yours, and we're not keeping score. We are a family. We love being a family. Aren't you happy having a family? Which he is. My son is a very big family man. Like, he is a family man. He's big on that. He's a homebody. He likes being with us. It's exciting to have movie night, you know? So I tell him, like, we do all of these things for each other, and that's how we are. We're not going to count how many of these I've done in this and that, because that's not who we are. That's another lesson. Like, you just help out. You live here. I won't let him tell me I don't know where this goes, whatever it might be.
I've been in the room when that happens.
Yes, you do, because you live here. So think about where it should go, where it would make sense, or where you'd go to look for it.
Like, where do the Oreos go?
In your mouth. Not the double stuffed.
We
talked about that earlier.
We talked about that earlier.
Stuff. Oreos.
Double stuffed Oreos is unnecessary. And if you eat double stuffed Oreos, please unfriend me. I don't need your negativity in my life.
We can be friends. We'll just buy 2 packs. No,
then I'm going to be forced to eat this entire pack of Oreos all by myself.
That sounds great.
I know. I kind of want Oreos now.
Well, on that note, let's go get some Oreos.
Let's go get some Oreos.
And thank y'all for coming.
This has been amazing Tech Talk.
Just kidding.
Any last words or just hit end?
This is it. End.